What's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com, and in today's video, we're going to talk about credit card debt. I want to give you some numbers that I've just recently been made aware of by the Fed Reserve, and it is stating that the credit card delinquency percentage is higher now than it was pre-pandemic. Than the pre-pandemic average. It actually rose. It looks like, from what I'm seeing here, it rose about 0.5%. It's kind of unclear. They got 20. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's during the pre-pandemic, it was about 1.5%, and it right now it's at 2% even. So rose 0.5%. Now, it says who's driving the rising credit card delinquencies. It said that baby boomers 46 to 64, which I'm a baby boomer, Generation X 65 to 79. I'm sorry, I'm Generation X. And Generation Z, which is 1995 to 2011, have remained similar to pre-pandemic. So it's the same. Like, there's no distinguishing increases. But millennials, people who were born 1980 to 1994, 1980 to 1994 has exceeded the pre-pandemic delinquency levels. And yeah, it says that they're increased, and now this is a breakdown. So it says here, baby boomers are at about 1%, a little over 1%. Generation X, which is the one that I'm in, is a little over 2%. Millennials is at about 2.9%, and Generation Z is at a little over 3%. And just so you know, it was worse for everyone except for Generation X, my generation. It was worse in 2015, 2017, 2019, and it dipped way down in 2021. So we would probably say that the reason why it dipped down in 2021 is that there was a lot of money on the street. And then, and also a lot of payments could have been deferred. Just a lot of relief products that were available to people who owed debt. And also, I think when they started, what happened with this quarter over all of the other quarters in the past since the pandemic is that student loan debt, people have to start paying on those student loans. So people are having to make some decisions. Now, here is the percentage by income. So lowest income individuals is almost at 3.5% delinquency rate. Number 2 is medium income, or upper, a little bit above lower income, is at 2.5%. And then I would say median income is at about 2.2%, and higher income individuals are at about 1.4%. Very interesting. And then those with large credit card balances were more likely to fall behind, but make up a smaller share of credit card users. So people with higher balances make up that pool of people is a lot less than the people who have smaller balances. So people with balances of 0 to 1,000, the delinquency rate is roughly, kind of hard to read here, a little bit, about 1.7%. People with credit card balances $1,000 to $5,000 is about 2.1%. People with credit card balances of $5,000 to $10,000 is at 2.5%, and people with credit card balances of 10,000 to 20,000 is at about 2.9%, and in $20,000 or more balances, that jumps way up. But the amount of people is a smaller pool of people, but that doesn't matter because you're just loaning more money to one individual instead of loaning $5,000 to 4 different individuals. But you say $20,000 plus, those delinquencies are about 3.4%. Credit card delinquencies rising particularly quickly for those with auto loans and student loans. That's what I had just said earlier. So has an auto loan and student loan, the delinquency rate, that combination of having to pay both of those now, is about 3.4%, about 3.4%. So you can see that that's a huge increase because that a lot of that percentage jumped. And it said here in the quarter below for that same demographic was about 1.4%. So we're all the way up to about 3.2, 3.3%, somewhere there. It's hard to read the graph here. Had people who have student loans with credit card debt, and maybe they paid off their card, their delinquency rate is about 3.3%. And then has auto debt, the delinquency rate is about 2.6%, and has credit card debt only is about 1.9%. And just have a mortgage. So people who just only have a mortgage, delinquency rate is about 1.3%. So you can see that what has happened with a lot of these people is that having those payments, having a payment here, payment there, payment over there, all of that, plus with your household expenses and all of the fun and stuff that you want to do, vacations, clothes, shopping, and all of that, it ends up catching up to people. So what can we do if we find ourselves in too much credit card debt? The solutions are like this. Solution number one, which is where it will not mess up your credit. If you, let's just say that you're behind on some payments, but you know you can kind of get stuff shifted if you get your money budgeted right. You can figure out a solution to start paying stuff off. Maybe you have 3 cars and maybe you're going to sell one of them, or maybe you're going to sell 2 of them. Whatever you're going to do. No, it doesn't matter what you're going to do. It just matters that you have the goal in mind and that you put it on paper or put it on a spreadsheet if you want to use your computer or tablet, and just have a plan of action to pay down that debt. And that's if you do not want to mess up your credit. And I do advise that. So some of the people who criticize me and say, well, Steve, you just want more customers, if they ruin their credit, they're your customers. Those people who say stuff like that, they obviously don't know me, because I want people to do good. I don't want to have people coming to me, like I'll be okay with what I do. So I want people to do good. Like if it was my choice, I would just be able to just help people get further financially than with credit repair. But because a lot of people are in trouble with their credit, I choose to help them with their credit, and then we tell them things they can do to move forward, and it helps them get to a better position so they can move forward. So the service is needed, and but I've never wanted anybody to do bad. So I would never tell anyone who is struggling with credit card debt, I will not tell you to stop paying on your credit cards. What I will tell you to do is, if you can put together a budget and you want to save your credit, struggle through it and just start focusing on getting the job done, and you will see that it won't be a struggle, that tomorrow is going to come and you're going to be able to start putting one foot in front of the other, and you're going to start gaining traction. Now, if you can't do that, you're upside down, you maybe lost income, your business went down, you just in bad shape financially, and maybe even bad shape medically, then the solutions that you have available to you. So we'll first take the worst case, which is financial and medical combined. You can submit a hardship to any unsecured creditor that you do not have collateral that you're holding. So for your card, they're not going to forgive the debt. They can forgive the repo debt, but they're not going to just forgive the debt. For your house, they're not going to forgive the debt. But if you have credit card debt, you have medical bills, you have personal loans, stuff like that, it is potentially possible to have your financial, keyword financial and medical hardship considered for debt forgiveness, 1099-C, cancellation of debt, debt forgiven. It can be done. There's a link below this video where you can go and look at proof that it can be done, and that it just has to get into the right hands, and they have to review it, and they make that determination. You cannot make them make that determination, but they do have guidelines, and you can see that I even read a letter from one of our clients that received one from a major credit card company, and it stated in there that their hardship met their guidelines, and they gave a 1099-C and canceled the debt. So that's the second one. So we got, if you don't want to ruin your credit, get your budget in order, cut your expenses, try to make more money, whatever you can do, and then you pay the debt down to save your credit. No settlements. You do settlements, it's going to mess up your credit. The next one is where everything is charged off. You're not going to be able to make it. You barely making your household expenses, and you have a financial and medical hardship that could be submitted. Some of the companies may forgive the debt, some of them may not, but it could lower your overall debt, but your credit is destroyed. Credit is destroyed. Number 3, if you don't have a medical hardship, number 3 is where you're going to be in option number 3, which is to do settlements. All of your accounts must be charged off. They could choose to sue you, but if you get the communications open, letting them know that you're struggling financially, they may feel there's nothing to go after, so why don't we just keep the communications open and maybe something can happen. At first, they're going to try to offer payments. At first, they're going to, do everything to try to get all their money. But eventually, if you could just hold out and you keep the communications open, they're going to haggle you. This is not going to be easy. This is not going to be easy. Just think it. What if somebody owed you money and you saw them driving around or doing stuff all the time? Well, that's what they think of us if we owe them money and we don't pay. They think that of us. I put myself in that category because in 1990, that's where I was at. I'm out of that category now, but I have been there. I know what it feels like, and I know what you must be feeling like with this, but you will see yourself through it. But you got to get clear on what avenue, what option is really, truly available to you, and also connect that option to your overall goal. Because if you do not want to ruin your credit, do not think about doing settlements, because they're going to charge off that account and it's going to ruin your credit. So put your goal of getting out of debt with the true option that is available to you. So if you have a goal, I want to get out of debt without ruining my credit, that's option 1. If you have a goal to get out of debt, but you're tore up financially, you have medical issues, that's option number 2. If you've just been bad financially like I was, then option number 3 is your option. And once all of your debt is charged off, and I'm not telling you to do that, so I want to be clear. What I'm saying is that if you're in a situation and the debts have charged off, and people make that decision on their own, but maybe they've already charged off for you. And for credit cards, it's going to be a 6-month period, and they're going to blow your phone up during that 6 months. And then after it charges off, they could either sell it or they could hire an attorney and try to sue you for it. That's the consequences of that. That's also the consequences of number 2, of option number 2. So this is the consequences that other people don't tell you about. They sugarcoat that. I don't. You could get sued. They could garnish your wages if you're working. So be aware. But I'm also going to tell you from experience, from someone who went through it and also someone who has guided clients through it, is that you do not have to suffer the consequences of going to court if you potentially, not to say everyone would do it, but potentially if you open up that communication and you provide whatever they need you to provide to prove your financial hardship, they will listen to you. Trust me, they got plenty of people who are avoiding them, not answering the calls. They don't know what's going on. They might think that that person's out on the beach having fun. If you become the one who answers the phone and communicates and just says, hey, I just don't got it. And then they say, well, what's going on? Or is it going to be a better date or whatever? You can call me next week, or you can call me in 2 weeks, or you can call me next month. Whatever amount of time that they'll give you, it depends on the company. Some companies will say, no, we're going to call you next week, because we want to know if it changes next week. Some companies may say, well, we'll call you in 2 weeks. Some companies might say, we're going to call you monthly. That's up to them. What you control is, if you're in box number 3, option number 3, what you can control is communications. You control the communications. And if you communicate with them, you lower your potential of being sued. That is just the way it is. And it also opens the door, if you have communication with somebody, that you could potentially talk to them about, if your situation gets a little bit of money, some tax money or whatever, you can offer them a settlement on it. And they probably be like, well, you've been communicating with us. This is what's going on in their mind. You've been communicating with us. You've been open. You've been honest. If you could get us something to just show that you're really struggling financially, I think I can take this up to my manager and get this approved. That can happen. That's what happened with me. That's what happened. The settlements that I negotiated when I was learning this stuff in 1990, they used to just go at you. There was not too many rules against debt collectors in the 1990s. They could damn near come to your house, knock on the door. But I did have that communication, because I was like, I don't want them calling. I don't want to have this issues with my wife, and I got 3 little kids. I don't want that. So I better just start talking. And the more I was talking with them, the more options became available. That's just, that was me learning. Now, from what I went through me going through it was for me to be able to help you. And I'm just telling you, but it could be hard. And if you find that it's too hard, that you just can't do it. And I understand some people, especially if you have medical issues, some people cannot just stand to even be on the phone. Some people just cannot, the personality just they just can't do it. A lot of people will say things like, well, you could do this on your own, you can do that on your own. Yes. But there's some people who can't. And I'm here for the people who can't. So, box number 1, option number 1, if you need a debt plan put together based off of what you got, a debt payoff plan, I have a service for that. Go to my live chat, because it's based off of your specific situation. Go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. In the live chat, say, Steve, I want to talk about getting a debt plan put together to save my credit and to be able to get out of debt, but also it's to save you and your family. Like, don't just think that it's about money and saving time and all of this stuff. It's about saving your family. Because if you go down financially, family goes down. And then number 2, if you've already, stuff is already charged off, and you have a medical and a financial hardship, we can draw up a medical and financial hardship consideration and present it to each one of your companies. But for you, go to my website again, to the live chat, type in that you have a financial and medical hardship, and you want to see if we can draw up the consideration and send that out for you. And part of that program with the consideration is that we answer the calls and we keep letting them know about your hardship, your financial and medical hardship. And if they ask for any documents, we help you get those documents to prove it to them. Because some of the times people don't want to take the calls. They don't want to get stuff. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to say it. They don't want to get tricked. So we have a service for that. And then for debt settlement, in option number 3, if you you got some money. You don't have to have all the money, but if you got some money and you're serious about settling those debts, all you have to do is go to the live chat, let me know, and we will do a consultation, and I'll let you know exactly how much we will charge to handle all of your settlements all the way through. What we will get, we can't make any guarantees, but what we will promise on our side to do, and how we will protect you from having to disclose certain stuff, how, what we'll do our best on that. We take all the calls. We hold them off. Even if they're trying to take you to court, we can even hold them off a lot of the times, as long as we're got the communications open. And you got to be open and upfront about what you've done already. And if you haven't done nothing, that's even better. But if you've done some stuff, we want to know. Don't hide anything from us. So, if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website, your3scores.com. Grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations letter, debt validation letter, and cease and desist collection activities letter. Use the one that's pertaining to your situation. I had an instruction on there. The link is below this video. I do ask for a donation, but that is not required for you to get it. I want to thank you for your time, and Happy New Year. If I haven't said that to you yet, please subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com. Thank you and have a great day.